the papers with the deputy sports editor of the Times, James Restall. And James, we were talking about the futures of Anthony Gordon and how Newcastle have just brought in Alexander Isak. Do you know any more on what's happening with Cristiano Ronaldo?
Well, the Mail on Sunday have a piece from Southampton, Manchester United yesterday. It's looking like farewell for Ronaldo. And I think that can be taken one of two ways. Either he leaves before the end of the deadline on Thursday, or he stays and he's phased out and he might have to settle for a starring role in the Europa League because he just clearly isn't part of Erik ten Hag's plans. Erik ten Hag has said we are planning with Ronaldo. But I think he sees him more as a squad player if he's going to have to stay there. It's a really troubling situation for Manchester United because they just don't want it. They surely do not want him sort of hanging around there as they're trying to move on. There's a really interesting picture in the paper which is with the caption £1.5 million a week on the bench with Ronaldo, Maguire and Casemiro among the subs bench, £320 million in transfer fees on the subs bench for United, which kind of it shows sort of where their strategy has gone right and wrong over the last few years. But it's the same issue with Maguire, I think, as well, in that it's very clear now that Maguire and Ronaldo are not in that first choice 11. So how do you keep them happy? How do you keep them motivated?
So I read in midweek, and I don't know how true this is, but it apparently come from Ronaldo that, a lot of things have been said are untrue. And he's going to, in the next couple of weeks, release a few details about all the false accusations that have been made against him and where he goes, what he's been doing, and whether he's going to stay at United or not. So are we all anticipating that he's going to come in with some big dynamic news? Because it feels very vague to me.
Well, what we do know is that he wants to be playing in the Champions League. And what we also know is that he's, for unknown personal reasons, wants to leave Manchester as well. He obviously missed the tour due to personal reasons. And so it's kind of, I think, I don't know what he can necessarily say in what the bombshell interview can be, really, right. Because the fact is, we know he's unhappy. We know he wants to leave. And so, a solution has to be found. I think Napoli's the latest club that's been linked with a move for him. But again, it all comes down to money. It's who's going to subsidise the wages, who's going to get him off the Manchester United wage bill. Will another club pick up his demands? It's a really difficult one for Manchester United.
Well, I think it comes down to him. If he so desperately wants to leave United and he's prepared to do a deal and say, I tell you what, I'll sacrifice some of my wages and go and play football. If you want to keep breaking records, you can't have it on his terms the whole way of his career. There has to be a time when someone says, well, no, this is the situation now. You can go. If you do go, someone's going to have to pay the bill. It might have to be you. If he doesn't want to sit there, he's wealthy enough to go, yes, it shouldn't be about money. I mean, he's moved for hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's up in the air. That's the bizarre thing still. We're still none the wiser as to what is going to happen with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Really vague, doesn't it, the whole thing?
It's very difficult to answer whether or not he will remain a Manchester United player come the end of this window.